Well, high school was a little bit of a rough time for me. Some of my best memories were made playing basketball. Aside from the team, the coaches, and the lessons I learned during this time, we had a referee with us before and after the games, and he called a pretty fair game too. So one time I had a chance to talk with Herman before a game started, and he gave me some of the best advice about work that truly revolutionized the way I thought about it. He said, if you love what you do, you will never have to work. Find what you love and figure out a way to get paid for it. Now I realize that this might not be revolutionary advice for everybody where we are at in this point in our life, but then it was pretty new to me. I had never seen somebody who loved what they did enough to turn their labor into enjoyment. And he sparked a desire in me to find that for myself. I'm Ciccarello, and as your community partner and volunteer coordinator, I'm here today to tell you how I've been working, what I've been loving, and the things which I believe I'm created for and I want to pursue more of in the future. As a reminder from my last boards, my vision as the community partner and volunteer coordinator is a connected, flourishing community. This vision has been a driver for me. Because I don't typically work with leaders, and because our organization is so bent towards seeing them thrive, it is really easy for me to fall into the trap that my piece of the pie is smaller and less significant. But this vision has been driving me, as I know that our allies and community partners are a vital part of our organization. Since January, the recruitment team has onboarded 2 classes of leaders. Now, I want to take a moment to brag on my team because we worked early mornings, late nights, and weekends to get the job done. And I know that we fell a little bit short for recruiting our first Uprise class, but we recruited 50 leaders for this past Upstream class. Personally, I was able to aid the recruitment team by making phone calls, answering phones, attending recruiting events, canvassing the neighborhoods, maintaining and developing community partners, and I also had a chance to recruit 5 of the 50 leaders who were accepted into the program. 2 new classes of leaders also means 2 new classes of allies. And in March, for the second time ever and in a row, we had too many allies. So we recruited more allies than we had leaders for. On June 7th, we have another group of leaders, allies who are starting the program. And I haven't told my team this yet, but as of last night, at 11:42 p.m., we recruited our 25th ally. And this is an incredible goal because a few weeks ago, we weren't even 25% of the way to this goal. And I was having conversations with Jeff saying, what happens if we don't hit this goal? And we were fully preparing for the worst because it looked pretty grim. And my prayer throughout this past time has been, Lord, bring the people here who you want to be part of this family, and I believe that he's done that. Due to time, I'd like to refer you to my handout for more in-depth ally data, but I would also like to highlight a few huge wins for us in this department. 163. That is the number of potential allies we have courted during this Upstream cycle. 92. The number of allies who have either attended a family gathering or an information session. And 49 of them have been to an information session within the past 5 months. Moving forward, our ally goals include developing a strategic plan for recruiting allies, expanding our community partnerships to have a more steady intake of allies, and also increasing my presence at ally information sessions so that I can help take some of these over in the future. If you were to ask me what I love about my job on the recruitment team, it might not be sending out feedback forms or answering phone calls or sending countless emails to potential allies, but what I do love is when allies say yes. And I believe that when allies say yes to a commitment with a leader, they're also saying yes to being grown, transformed, and enriched in the process, making our community and our program better at the same time. While I recognize that I'm just a front door person for allies, and my job is just to get them here, and I don't work a lot with the transformation along the way, I also recognize the weightiness of this responsibility. I want to share a story with you about 2 allies we have for our next Upstream class. And I want to admit that when I first met these allies, I judged them, and I assumed a lot of things about where they were at in their life. But the more that I think about these allies, the more excited I get for their journey, because I met them at an event that was about seeking reconciliation in an age of division. And out of all the people I talked to that night, these 2 showed up because they recognize a need in their life and they want to change. And I'm getting really excited for them because I know that we will accept them and love them with the same love that we have for our leaders, and that they're going to exit these doors different people than when they came in. And that is what I really love and what I'm really passionate about in my job. Another sphere of involvement I've had in the past few months is the development and launch of the ambassador opportunity. And so in the past few months, I refined my mission statement, created applications and recommendation forms, held interviews, created training, implemented a process for requesting ambassadors, and as of Thursday, we now have 20 trained ambassadors who are ready to host guests. And a lot of these have actually already been used to either meet with donors or host guests in the process. My hope in the future is to refine and enhance the program in the coming months, and there's a lot of kinks to work out with the new program, especially in the area of training, but I have meetings set up with staff members who are going to help me do that. And I wanted to share that what I love about most is about the ambassador opportunity is the customer service meeting the sharing of our program. And my includer strength is never happier than when I get to see ambassadors meeting potential allies at a door and welcoming them into our family and creating a more connected community. I also love seeing our ambassadors courageously sharing their stories with guests. It's a vulnerable process that they're stepping into, but they're doing it because they want to grow and because they want to give back. We have 2 other recruitment-related goals which lie ahead, besides the ones I've already mentioned. The first is enhancing the visitor experience, taking it good and making it incredible. We've already made really good strides in this area by implementing the ambassador opportunity. And also there are gray folders in front of you that are ally information packets that they receive when they visit family gathering. If you'd like, you can look those over. I'd like to see the area improve in pre and post communication, and then also having a system for welcoming all guests onto our campus and not just our allies. The second is the development of community partner relationships, and this is an ongoing goal of ours, but we really recognize that we can both grow in our current communication with our current partners and also our also creating new partnerships. And I have meetings set up for next week to see what we need to do here. As I move into talking about the personal development that's happened over the past few months, I would like to remind you all that the word the Lord gave me for this year was rise. And the picture of what that looked like was a bird in flight. I wish that I could tell you that I'm soaring high through the sky with the wind in my face, the heavens above me and the earth below me, but actually a better picture of what this has looked like over the past few months is a baby bird who's trying to learn to fly and has been repeatedly falling on her face in the process. While these past few months have been filled with more promises than I could even begin to tell you, there have also been a lot of low points too. And it has been difficult to keep trying to rise. To have my hopes, my dreams shattered repeatedly has been hard. But I believe that sometimes doing the same thing over and over again with the equivalent results is not the definition of insanity, but the definition of hope. I believe his word when it says that a dream fulfilled is the tree of life, and that those who revere the Lord will rise with healing in their wings. I believe his word when it says that those he restores will again be like those who dream, with shouts of joy in their mouth, because the Lord has done great things for them. And I know that his deliverance will not be hidden out of the shame of the past, but like the voice of a lighthouse. He has also asked me to trust others to step into my brokenness, to help me carry the burdens, which is a really scary place. But I also know that he has promised me that my healing will not be alone, but collective. What lies ahead is not only my hope of personal healing, but also the pursuit of the vision I believe God has spoken over me. And that is to cultivate and steward words that he's given me and asked me to share with others. This is a place that I can continue to ask the question, or it's no longer a question of can I do what God has asked me to do, but it's now a question of can I not do what he's told me to do. So, if you love what you do, you will never have to work. If Herman was here today and he asked me what I love doing, or what I love, I would tell him that I love the Lord, and I love the people he has created. And I love being a part of making this earth more full of Jesus and look a little bit more like heaven. And sometimes that looks mundane, like emails and phone calls, but sometimes it also requires me to step out in boldness and speak the words that I know that he's given me. So we're actively, while it's not always included in my 8-to-5 job, I'm working on ways to start to include that in there. And at the end of my day, and also my life, I want Acts 20:24 to be true when it says, "But my life is worth nothing to me, unless I use it for finishing the work assigned me by the Lord, the work of telling others the good news and about the wonderful grace of God, declaring today that I have been faithful, for I didn't shrink back from declaring all that God wanted others to know. Thank you for your time, and I'd love to welcome any questions that you have.